Hi, and thanks for tuning in to our live radio show. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany will begin in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Kindly take this opportunity to share this show on your platforms because change can only come when we stand together as one, especially when it comes to ending the stigma on mental health.
You are not alone, and help is out there.
Kids have mental health issues, and we also need to learn coping skills.
Let's get started and let the show begin. See you soon.
Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to have an interesting show with an astrologer, a spiritual teacher, and that has been doing this in a lifetime and given life readings to so many people. And I will formally introduce my guest once Tan Talk Radio comes on. But Indra, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Tiffany. Thanks for having me today.
It's so nice to have you here. And it's different. I've never interviewed an astrologer. Well, let's say a professional one at least. Maybe some people that think
Okay.
that they are one too. You know what I mean? So we have to talk about what astrology is and see how that can help us. We're talking a little bit how I was overcoming COVID and everything. Andrea's like, it's life's way of telling you to slow down. I used to say that when I got laryngitis as a therapist and a radio host. Laryngitis is like, I used to say that's God's way or universe's way and telling me to shut up for a minute. but I don't like it.
Absolutely. That's the purpose. One time I came back from India with hepatitis A, and it was definitely about I needed to slow down, surrender even more.
Yeah, but for how long? It's torture.
I'm still working. Well, I'm healthy now, but I'm still working off of that surrendering that I did then. I'm still with it.
Oh
Still
yeah.
surrendering. Surrendering doesn't end.
I was just texting Ed from Tan Talk Radio, see where he's at. I'm gonna kindly ask him to unmute, but I think a lot of things come in our life that tells us to pause, take a little break, and slow down, and
Absolutely.
self-care. It doesn't have to be a deadly cold, though. or hepatitis.
No.
Association. For schedules and ticket information, including a special Florida residence deal, visit us at flysnf.org.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we are going to have an interesting guest who is a spiritual teacher, spiritual seeker, lifetime spiritual seeker, healer, teacher, offers life readings for clients. So I encourage you guys to call in and see what he has to say for you. He's been studying spirituality and astrology for over 20 years. And
50 years.
50 years. And before I really formally introduce him, I want to say hi to Ed.
Hey, and a happy Friday, everybody.
Hi, Ed. Meet Indra. I'm going to formally introduce him in a second, but he's an astrologer. He can give you a reading.
Uh-oh.
We're going to... whenever we need to. Ed's my prop.
I'm not sure I want mine read on the air.
Well, I mean, I was already told I caught COVID to slow down, and that's life's way of telling me to need to slow down. So I don't know.
Maybe.
You're like, I don't want mine read on the air. Well, hopefully there'll be a caller calling in that does. 826-1340. But we always love these kind of shows where we can learn something about ourselves. How are you doing, Ed?
Good. Nice rain last night, or we all have yesterday. Seems to have knocked quite a amount of the pollen out of the air. Finally, it's been a long 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yes. Allergies have been kicking.
Mm-hmm.
Some places it's summer already, and it's spring for us, but we barely had a winter.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. Please say hi to Ed when you do. And Ed, if you decide you want your reading, chime in anytime, okay? Anyway, so my special guest for today is, like I said, a lifetime spiritual seeker. He's a healer, teacher, and offers life readings for clients. Astrology and the Enneagram of Personality are his main modalities that he shares. He's been studying astrology and spirituality for 50 years, and he learned about all this in 1999 and uses these modalities in combination. And his focus is to help clients to wake up to who they really are. And he works to help people live beyond their conditioned stories and to live more in the moment, which I think we all need to do. And welcome to Moments of Clarity, Indra Rinzler.
Thank you very much, Tiffany.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And I know that we had to reschedule because I got sick, but as well. But thanks for being patient with me. So
my pleasure.
I forgot to tell you, you get a bell every time you say a moment of clarity, by the way. But let's start from the beginning of what got you into this in the first place and what you found your moment of clarity and brought you into your calling.
I have no idea what happened. I just graduated from college, and within a week, my mother passed away of natural causes. And 2 years later, my father passed away of natural causes. And I was a 23-year-old who had just moved to California and learned about metaphysical bookstores. And so I started reading about astrology, about metaphysics, about spirituality. And it became my life path to find happiness, to find myself, to that's kind of the words we use now, but 50 years ago, I'm not exactly sure. To be happy, to be one with myself, I have no idea, but spirituality was important to me, and I just followed that path one step at a time. I had no idea where I would end up or what I was trying to do or what goals I had, but here I am.
So you started that in 1999. And
in 99, I started working with the Enneagram of Personality, but I had already been on the spiritual path since the beginning of the 70s. 1970s.
Do you think that the loss of your parents led you to search into this, maybe a part of your healing from grief?
I don't think it was the grief. No, I didn't feel grief. It was their time, but I think it was just the freedom to not have to adapt to certain ways, to find a new center because the center that I had known had disappeared. And so it was a freedom. It was a gift that they gave me. Parents give us gifts. They give us DNA, they give us traits, they give us home, they give us food, and they also they can give us freedom by giving us do what you want and don't worry about me, or by leaving. And so I had this opportunity that I was independent enough that it was a blessing for me, and I didn't feel that they weren't involved. That was their role. I remember when with my kids, when we had a retail store and we would do Christmas, that I told my kids, they were like 7 and 10, 6 and 10, something like that, and 2. That their job was to let mom and dad go and do Christmas season. And so that what their role was to let us do what we needed to do. And I think my parents, their role was that their life had come and gone, and they're not about grief, but it's a beautiful story that then I could be free to explore what I wanted to explore without feeling limitations.
Yeah, that's definitely a different way to look at it. It's kind of funny. We have that in common about losing our parents. I lost my parents when I was in college as well, from cancer, brain aneurysm, Agent Orange, that kind of stuff, as well as 2 grandparents. I didn't feel freedom. I felt like survival mode. Get my act together and figure out life because I had no one to count on. Not like, I think I reacted a little differently. Not like, oh, okay, this was their role. It was more like, I'm gonna figure out my life, and I guess it led me into why I'm doing what I'm doing today, the stigma and mental health and psychology and all that stuff. But
well, I think that's my point, is that it led me to what I was doing, and this is part of that we see in our practices working with other people, is that everybody's different and that people react in different ways, and it's not right or wrong. What you and I did is neither right or wrong. It's maybe right for us, but it may not be how you are for me, and how I am for you may not be right. And that's what we can teach each other. And so the idea that from it, I may have felt some grief. I may have not been able to feel, but on the positive side, which is how I am, I could see it as a springboard to be able to, the first thing I ever did really was that I had the opportunity to buy a house. So I bought a house and I started a commune. But I don't think that if my parents were around growing up in very fashionable New York, that I probably would have started a commune.
What kind of commune is a commune?
A commune is a community of like-minded people who live together. It was like an extended family. And I was interested in community, and I lived in community for many years after this experience. But I got a renter. I got a renter couple, and then other people came, and suddenly we had, at the height, at 14 people. We had 22 cats, 3 dogs. I think we had a goat, goat, and we had chickens. We lived on an acre in a suburban area in the East Bay in San Francisco, and it was revolutionary. It was the idea for me of learning about myself, learning, because in college we didn't really learn. We learned subjects, but we didn't really learn how to live. You learned a little bit of boy girl, but you didn't really learn about what makes you happy and how people are, and without the makeup, how people are. But in this commune, I remember saying that that thin walls are an opportunity, that you can tell somebody something, they can hear you, but you're not telling them directly because you're not ready to tell them directly. But with thin walls, then they can hear you. And so
that's called passive aggressiveness, but that's okay.
yeah, passive aggressiveness.
Did
Okay.
you guys all follow the same religion or something? Was it?
No, we didn't have it wasn't, we were getting into spirituality. I think we had a religion of just openness and just being family with each other, being brothers and sisters, and lovers and ex-lovers, and people coming, people going. It was just a very exciting time for 2 or 3 years. I lived that way, and I just learned about myself, and I learned about other people, and I think that was the point of it for me.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, though, then you bought the commune after your parents died, and then started to get into spirituality and everything. For 50 years doing this, what has been the outcome of your teachings, and what exactly do you do with what you've learned?
I think what I do, I think for me, it's about being, like you say, it's about being in the moments. It's about releasing any tensions that I'm holding. It's about releasing um, insecurities. It's about releasing expectations. It's about releasing that things need to be a certain way. It's about releasing that I need to slow down even if I don't want to slow down. And it's about being in the moment, and that's where I'm the happiest, and that's where life seems to work well.
Yeah. So what kind of readings do you give people? Like you said that you've gotten, I mean, yeah, slow down and be in the moment, definitely. And that's dialectical behavioral therapy also, being mindfulness, being in the moment,
My
using mindful.
mindfulness, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The readings I offer, I call life readings. I use 3 different modalities in order to place people in this life.
Okay.
Place them in terms of their insecurities, place them in terms of their, I had a client yesterday who didn't realize that she was reacting to conditioning. She has a situation without getting into specifics, with an empty 7th house, and people who have empty 7th house are susceptible to their parental conditioning, and they think, oh, well, I'm not really conditioned. This is really my idea. She
You have
knew
a what house? And
the 7th house. The
what do you mean?
7th house. The 7th house in astrology, we take the 360 degrees and we divide it into 12 houses, and each house has a particular area of your life, and the 7th house is about relationships. And so when you don't have a planet there, you tend to you have trouble seeing through conditioning, that you're not really focused on other people because you don't have a planet there, and you sort of focus on your own self, and you have trouble distinguishing between your stories and those stories of society or parental stories.
Or what we're taught, we're not media and all that stuff. Hold on, Indra. I want to get into the depth of that, because I'm going to be asking questions, because when you say it was in the 7th house, it's kind of like when I use terms like OCD or whatever, I have to explain, because not everybody knows psychology acronyms and stuff like that. It's just like with
Sure.
astrology, a lot of it's going to just be going over a lot of our heads, and we want to know exactly what you're talking about. But first, before I get into this, let's just take our first break, and then I'm really interested in learning what you teach and about all of this, these theories, and in more in depth. But we'll take our first break, and we will be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. And please call in 866-826-1340 866-826-1340. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at mocwithtiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we have an interesting guest who is a spiritual teacher, an astrologer, and he's been doing and studying this for over 50 years and uses astrology and the Enneagram of Personality as two modalities that he's been sharing to give life readings and help people live beyond their conditioned lives and stories and live more in the moment. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Indra Rinzler.
Thank you.
So, Indra, when we left off, you were talking about the seventh house and all this stuff, and it's going over my head. So let's get into the depth of how you help clients with their lives, and think, what is the 12 houses and what you're saying, and how does that apply?
So the houses are like nouns. They're places in our life. The 10th house is about career. It's like your house. You know, you have a kitchen where you cook. You have a bathroom where you wash. You have a bedroom where you sleep. And so we have 12 houses. We divide the 60-degree circle into 12 different houses, 30 degrees each, and each one has a focus, has a purpose, has a area of life that it's involved in. That's what the houses mean.
Is that kind of like what's it called? I had a woman in my counseling center that used to do readings, SRT. And I forget exactly, but it was like spiritual readings, but past lives, and like there was like different a circle with a graph.
Regression?
Yes.
Regression?
Something like that, along those lines.
No, well, I mean, that's something else. It's not something that I particularly do. I'm interested in this particular life. I'm interested in what are the circumstances that you have been born into, the planetary circumstances, because they're symbols of the life that you're leading. They are symbolic. And so why go to an astrologer is that they can help you to understand. They can, it's like an x-ray, and your astrology chart can be like an x-ray to show you the workings under the hood as to why you are the way that you are.
So do you feel like, are you saying like that we're born like with already a destiny planned for us based on when we're born, and the stars and the planets and all that, or that we create our own destiny and everything by how we choose and our choices in life?
Well, we have free will, so we have the freedom to do whatever we want. But the fact is that we are born into circumstances. We have skills, we have abilities, we have challenges, skills, and challenges. They're all opportunities, and if you have a challenging planet, quite often that may be your, like you said with your parents passing on, it became a springboard for you to what you're doing now, and so that's what the opportunities are.
It was hard at the time, but I say that all the time. I wouldn't be doing what I am now. I don't know. I'd probably be in sales or marketing. I don't even know, something else. A zookeeper. I don't. I don't know. But it led me to who I am today, and I've used it to really be passionate about helping others and ending the stigma on mental health. Because back when they passed away, mental health wasn't a big, like, nobody went to a counseling. Like, a lot of people didn't buy into the fact that mental health is real, and so it's definitely led me into the passion that I have today. But I mean, it's how we react to our circumstances and our situations that define our character, for sure. That's why I believe. And callers, call in 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340. We're also on YouTube Live. If you could type in Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, you can see us live on YouTube. Same with LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, but YouTube is the easiest. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. While you're there, please subscribe. There's a little icon at the bottom right-hand corner. Just click on that and hit subscribe, or hit the like button if you're watching on a different platform. And we can also take live chats and answer some questions. But 866-826-1340. But Indra, I think I agree with what you're saying. We are products of our circumstances and how we react to them, and we do have free will, and we have the ability to choose how we are going to react, or find which solution to whatever comes our way. And so I mean, that psychology and astrology are fit like that. We just call it different things, you know. Jason from YouTube, IMJ Designs. Let's Hello from India by Jason. Hi, Jason. Thank you so much. And let's see, and give some love for some of the live chat on Facebook. Summit Innovations says hi to Ed. Ed, you got a live chat. Hi. Hi, Stacy McConnell from YouTube. Thank you for watching. And yeah, it says, thanks, Indra. Jason, IMJ Designs. And thanks, Indra, for being a guest at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. Joe Potosi on LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us today. Invite your friends to watch the show. Call in with comments or questions. 866-826-1340. And if you can't call in and have a question for the guest, leave a question here on the live chat. Every effort will be made to read your question live. Also, check out the Moments of Clarity Facebook group and YouTube page. Thank you, Joe. Stuff that I don't even remember to say myself. Somebody called Forensics Astrologer on YouTube. Hi, how are you? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Says, my husband has been diagnosed with cancer and has Neptune and the moon conjunct in the 12th and is not mentally strong. How can I help? Please, if you possibly have time. That's a question for you, Indra.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard because I like to see a whole chart, but what does mentally strong mean? Or is she trying to?
Forensics Astrologer, if you'd like to call in, 866-826-1340. And yes, we do have time. We take live calls. And then that way, if Indra has some more questions for you, you're welcome to ask. And then and 866-826-1340. It's toll free. And actually, it would be great because if you knew what you were saying, the seventh house is the relationship with others as well as many other things. So it sounds like one of our followers and guests tuning in knows what you're talking about. So call in 866-826-1340. And then we have time for a live caller. But yeah, so What were you saying, Indra? We need a chart, or basically being able
Well,
to.
it's nice to have the chart, but her saying that he's not mentally strong, I mean, I wonder what that's about. Is she having an expectation of how he should be? I may not be mentally strong either, and I'm not sure what it has to do with Moon and Neptune in the 12th house. But he's not connected. 12th house Moon, he's not connected to his emotions. And so he is not mentally strong. And the thing is that let him be. This is what he's working with, and this is how it is. And how can you help is to stop having judgments and to love him as he is and help him to be mentally strong. That's how we can do that. Rather than feeling that he's not adequate, I would like to get her to a position of that he's what's happening is what he needs to go through. That is that diagnosis will not make you strong. And so
I mean, on a flip side, psychologically, if my loved one was just diagnosed with cancer, I would be there for them, because it's very scary to be diagnosed with something that could be life-threatening or terminal. And to be there for them for that, it's a big adjustment. It's a big fear. People that have been diagnosed, I once was, I thought I had breast cancer. It was something different, but I had to go through the whole test and everything. And it really, when you think you have something like that, it changes everything, the way you see life. And you start to not sweat the small stuff, start to freak out, think that life's coming short, and start planning for things, that I would have support, professional help for him, and be there because he might be facing something that he's probably very scared. And then she goes on and it says it's very in-depth, far explained in a sentence. An astrologer is necessary. So call in 866-826-1340. Anyway, so that people come to you for this kind of stuff, saying like someone's dying. That's like more of like a.
Not so much that. I think what I tend to attract are people that are interested in getting more clarity about their life, that they're not attaining their goals. They're not sure what their goals are. They're confused about their life. That's the people, the clients that come to me.
Yeah. So, forgive me. Like, that's what usually people come to me for as well as a therapist. So what's the difference? And even Jason from India, he's on YouTube. What's the purpose of an astrologer? Is it just about offering reading or helping people resolve problems, or something else, and help us understand?
Well, I mean, like astrology, they're like anything, like psychology or almost anything that you can go for different reasons. There are astrologers who are particularly in India, they're very prediction oriented. I don't do any predictions. I'm not interested in when you will or when you won't. It's, I'm interested in giving you the blocks so that if you want to achieve a goal, so that you know why you can't achieve that goal that you want to achieve. And there are astrologers that will tell you everything that you need to do in your life. I'm not one of those. I'm interested in holding hands through a reading, but I'm not interested in guiding everyone's life. I want to empower them. There are many astrologers who want to take people's power away by telling them what to do. That isn't what I focus on. I want to help people to know what's going on so that they can empower themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm a solution-focused therapist, and when people feel stuck, because we're never stuck in anything, right? And there's always a solution to everything, or a way to find a different avenue, everything except death and taxes. But people sometimes cheat on their taxes or something. I don't know, but that's what they say. And so when what would be a reading like with you versus if someone were to go to a therapist? If they came to you and said, I mean, do you align planets and stars and go with their birthday, or try to figure out their personality like that, or what exactly is it?
I go through the strengths and weaknesses of the placements, that everything is neutral. The planets don't. The placements are where the houses and the signs that the planets are in. Planets are like verbs. They're action oriented. The emoting moon and expanding Jupiter. The houses are, as I said, are like nouns. They're places in our life, and the signs are like adjectives. They're qualities of energy, and they're all neutral. But the fact is that when we have a fiery planet in a watery sign, it's not very comfortable. And so that is our challenge, is that it makes us feel insecure. Well, it doesn't make us feel insecure, but there is insecurity around it, and it's the cause of it. And when we can come to the high side of the planet, then we can let go of those particular stories. And so I just highlight the strengths and weaknesses in order for people to understand what they're dealing with, and then they will self-correct on their own once they see clarity in what's happening. And I don't think it's much different than your psychology, and Jung was an astrologer. So I mean, he knew the power of astrology.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people come up with theories and use that to apply to life. Sometimes, with psychology, every angle, it's a kind of, if you're learning it, is a tool that you can train and be trained on. But once you learn it, it kind of makes, it's kind of common sense a little bit, but called different things. But just like parenting skills 101, or what to expect when expecting a baby, or things like that. These are tools that sometimes people don't think about until somebody else sees it objectively or through other eyes, or gives them some sort of guidance, because not everyone thinks, for instance, when they have a newborn or a baby that starts to crawl, oh, maybe we forgot to baby proof the house. Like, it's just kind of common sense, but where others don't think to just use the tools that people have to make life easier for them, that kind of stuff was an example.
Yes, absolutely. I would say the difference between the difference I think of as astrology and or what I do with astrology and psychology, and I don't know how you do it, but it's about the moments of clarity. Speaking of your program, is that psychology generally doesn't really have an end game. It just wants to observe behavior. Yes, it wants to make you happy and deal with a problem, but it doesn't really end. Where spiritually the end is to try to get to the moment, because in the moment then the problems disappear. And so we have this goal in that again, not all astrologers are going to do this the same way, but my focus is to get you back into the moment, is to get you into that you're reacting to your life situations in a momentary, in this moment way, rather than I was a bad person before, or I need so and so in the future in order to be happy. Be happy right here, right now. That is the moment of clarity, and that is the focus for my readings, whether it's astrology or the Enneagram.
Right. So I use this with a lot of my clients. It's like kind of just I use a picture. It's a stick figurine. I'm not an artist or whatever, but imagine a person with a little thought cloud, and he's being mindful, and he's saying, take one moment at a time. I'm going to focus on here and now and today. And I put, he's being mindful, just mindful. Then his counterpart is being mindful, and full is capitals, FULL, full of stuff, mindful. And he's angry, and his fists are big, and he's got clouds going, I can't, what if, fear of the unknown, fear of the future, fear of worry, the should-haves, all these things. And he's being mindful of stuff. And when we have our mind full of everything, we can't see straight, because we're overwhelmed and clouded, and we're not having that clarity. So to be in the moment, is that what you're talking about? Being mindful, like just taking one thing at a time and being here present today?
Yes, I would say that's basically the same. And I like to use the word minding rather than mindful, because of the confusion of full mind and being conscious of the mind. So I like to call it mindingness, or minding, rather than mindful, because it's the process of being aware of the mind, not being full of it. And the other thing is, being mindful is the end goal, where minding is the process of getting there.
Right. Well, yeah. I like the mindful, though, in my perspective, because I can use the counterpart.
Absolutely.
But I get what you're saying. And we're going to come up with more tools out of this, too. I'm still interested. I'm still kind of confused on exactly what astrology is versus mental health. But it's time for our second break. And we will be back with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi, this is your host, Tiffany Warner from Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I want to thank you for all your support on ending the stigma on mental health for over the past 7 years and with over 600 episodes, as well as several award nominations and placing as a finalist in 3 categories on the People's Choice Podcast Award last year. If you're listening to this on audio, please visit and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany and enjoy viewing previous shows in case you missed any live. If you're interested in advertising and would like to promote your company, it is affordable and an effective way to get your company the attention it deserves. I also welcome potential guests as well, and all information can be found on my website at mocwithtiffany.com. Thank you again for your continued support, as change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hello, and welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're learning about astrology from an astrologer, and has been doing this for 50 years plus, and giving readings, more spirituality, and applying them to help people find their purpose in life and not live to their condition. Welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. Indra Rinzler. Thank you so much for being here. And so anyway, we were kind of going through what astrology is, and it's kind of very similar to psychology in several ways, but different wording and techniques. While we're on the break, we got a caller. We got caller Susie. Susie, thanks for calling in. Welcome to Moments of Clarity.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
So I'm still not quite unsure, like, how do I know that I need an astrologer, and why would I need an astrologer?
Indra, I think that question is for you.
Yeah,
Great
that's a
question.
you
Thank you,
don't
Susie, for
you don't need an astrologer, but it's nice to have an astrologer. Why would you do that? Is because you want to get clarity in your life. You want to understand yourself better. You want to understand why you react the way you react to situations. You want to understand, relationships or career or what am I supposed to be doing? And you're looking for insight. It's not any different than talking to your neighbor or your girlfriend or a psychologist. It's just another version of way to get input. And there are a lot of people who are interested and attracted to astrology, and that's why they go to astrologers, and they see value in the planets. How do the planets affect us? Well, have you ever been affected by a full moon? Have you ever felt a full moon and felt the full moon crazies? Then that's what the planets do to you. And the other planets can be more subtle, but they're not any less in your life than the feelings of a full moon.
Yeah, they do say it must be a full moon because everyone's acting out of sorts. Why is that? Is it the gravity that pulls from the water and affects our body chemistry or anything like that? How do the planets affect us in general?
So there's an internet test that you put sand on a metal plate that's hooked up to a tone machine, a machine that generates tones. Cycle through the tones, the sand will move to different positions. Sound is a wave, and we're affected by it. And I believe that the planets affect us the same way. It can be kind of subtle. It can be, they're far away. How can that be? But they're big. And whether it's being scared when it's dark, when it's a new moon and it's dark out, or being, not able to sleep when it's full moon and it's so light out at night, either one, they affect us. How, I can't say specifically scientifically, but I can say that it happens because everybody feels it and everybody has experiences of it.
Okay, thank you for answering that. Stacey or Susie, did he answer your question? I want to kind of elaborate with what Susie said. So does this have anything to do with zodiac?
This is the zodiac.
So with Virgo and Taurus and
that's Cancer, it. That's the astrology. Yes, that's it.
And so based on when we were born and all of that defines how our personalities are?
Well, it's a little simplistic to say that. It sets up a criteria, it sets up a situation, it sets up skills, and it sets up challenges, and it sets up an opportunity, and I call it an imprinting. It gives us that we can be affected by our upbringing. We can be affected by our parents and our life situation, and whether we can live up to that chart or not. But the fact is that it's kind of just it's just like the life, that we have a certain body, that we come in as a particular sex, and we have a color hair, and we have a height, and we have certain abilities. They're just parts of the given that come to us with birth. Each life is different.
Right. So, Susie, did that answer your question?
So, I'm an April baby, and so I'm curious how that might have an imprint on me.
Well, I don't know when in April, but the thing is that your sun could be in Aries, and if you're Aries, and again, that it's like telling you about your life by just looking at your foot. It's only one part of you, or deciding whether I want to marry you, but you send me a picture of your foot, and then I can see whether you're for me or not. I mean, it's a small part of the.
Depending on if you have a foot fetish.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying it's a small part of your makeup, but if you're an Aries sun, then you tend to be very strong in yourself, and you tend to be very, if you're a Pisces sun, because you were born in that part of April, you're more indecisive. So, and more. So those are the two possibilities. Your sun is about yourself. On the high side, it's your self-awareness, and on the low side, it's your low self-esteem.
So what day in April, Susie?
16.
The 16th. So that would probably be Aries, would be my guess. And so then you would be more the strong. You would be more assertive. Now it also depends on what planets you have conjunct. Conjunct means in the same house, that the abilities of Aries sun could be that you're really secure and strong, but it could be that it's with a debilitated planet. That means a planet that it's not in its favorite house, it's in its least favorite house. And so if you have a planet there that's not very happy, then you have the potential to be strong from that Aries sun, but then you let go of that, you lose that, you're strong until something confronts you, and then you lose. It's like you want to go tell your boss something, and you're really clear as you practice, you're going to let him have it, and then you get in there, and all of a sudden he smiles at you, and you completely lose it. Or a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you want to say to somebody something, and then you practice, and you're really good, and then you get in there, and it dissipates. Because this other planet is conjunct, that I can't see from just being born in April. But so those
It is
situations.
funny that with these zodiacs, how like Virgo, I'm a Virgo, and how most people that are Virgos are very similar in nature, analytical and organized and that kind of stuff. It does it 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 seems to correlate often with what I've noticed, but I mean I don't live by it myself personally, but I do see similarity. But Susie, thank you so much for calling in. I hope that answered your question. We're just running out of time, but thanks for calling into Moments of Clarity. I hope that helped.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Indra, for answering my questions.
Have a great day, Susie. Thanks. Take care. Anyway, we have about 5 minutes to wrap up. So, Indra, what you're saying, there's a lot more to understand after 50 years of you studying all this to try to explain it within an hour on a mental health show. I guess it is hard to say when I've been on interviews too where someone's like,
I would say in 50 years of study, I've learned that I don't know very much, and I'm very content in that position. That I've learned I know less than I did when I began.
well, no, I'm sure you know more. That it just starts to seem like common sense to you. But there's been times where I've been interviewed and someone just like asks a question very randomly, and there's all these pieces. Well, does it have? You have to ask more in depth to find out what how to help or what's the cause of that kind of stuff. Like the root of the problem before finding an answer or guidance. So, but I appreciate you being on the show and explaining what astrology is and astrologers and where can people find you if they want to learn more? Because I know that if there's other listeners like me that are left a little bit confused because of different planets and houses, and I don't know if they're not happy in your house, like it's just kind of going over my head, and I apologize for that. But to learn more, how do people find you and locate you?
Well, I have a website, indrarinzler.com, and that's a great place to start.
So for listeners in the car or that aren't, it's INDRARINZLER.com, and that's your website.
That's it. Yeah, no, and just the two words are together with nothing in between.
And then do you offer readings or
I offer readings for people. I do location astrology too. It's called astrocartography, where you can learn about the aspects of a particular place that you're living or want to live in, or you want to find a place that will where you can have better relationships or more fun or whatever it is that you're looking for, a deeper spiritual experience. We can find places on the earth where that would be more conducive to you based on the planets and based on your chart,
where you can actually get in depth and more for that. And for the forensic astrologer that was asking questions in the chat, I guess go to Indra Rinzler, INDRARANZLER.com, and get more in depth for what you were asking. And Indra, thank you so much for being on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. It's been very nice meeting you and interesting, to say the least. And what you're doing is, I'm sure, not only very healthy for you, but helping others in a different way, that for people that are scared to go seek help from a therapist or from other avenues of help, like the clergy or other life coaches and things like that. So it's interesting. There's so many places to seek help and to know that it's okay to not be okay, and that there's no stigma in trying to figure out ourselves and be healthy and reach our full potential in life. And there's so many ways to do that. And Indra, thank you so much for introducing us to this angle too. And for more information, follow Indra on IndraRinzler.com. As for us, it's time to go. We're on every Thursday and Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow us on YouTube at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, and subscribe. And also Twitter at MOC with Tiffany, same with Facebook at MOC with Tiffany, and on LinkedIn at Tiffany Warner. And everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you, Ed. Thanks for the callers. And everyone, see you next week.
Moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.